of even elementary schools. And so that's why I'm running.
Yeah, well, and that makes perfect sense, obviously. Are you sensing a shift in people politically in your area where maybe they used to not care as much about certain issues or they used to even vote with the left? Are you talking to people who are saying something happened where they changed their allegiances or now they're becoming more activated?
Absolutely. Historically, at least in Arizona, school board races are nonpartisan. I don't believe in nonpartisan politics.
Yeah.
And when people say, well, this is a nonpartisan race, and I say, well, hey, look, Democrats have been indoctrinating our kids in the name of nonpartisan since the 70s. So, miss me with that.
Yeah.
And people are concerned about what's happening with their children. And I don't think that, here's what I think. People are paying attention. Whether it's a Democrat or an independent or a Republican, they're concerned about the future of schools. They don't like what they're seeing. Your moderate Democrats are saying, hold up, we got to put a stop to this. I'm not sending my child to school for them to come home and tell me, hey, I'm now a girl and you've been raised, so that's the problem.
Right.
And parents are being left out of those decisions, and teachers and school counselors are helping the student make that decision and going along with it. We got to put a stop to that and stop this move of anti-American curriculum that's in our schools. If we want to save America, we start with our children.
Now, how big of a role did your faith have in your decision to get involved and run for office?
A lot. I'm a pastor.
Right.
And so when I made this decision, it was an easy decision. My job as a pastor is to serve my community. So I'm already doing that as a pastor. And so now I'm taking that next step to engage politically and serve my community there and represent the kingdom and on values that everybody should have.
Now, you just mentioned you don't believe in nonpartisan politics, correct?
Right.
So now it's also, there's a similar line there in terms of the church and politics. A lot of people don't want to integrate the two, but on the other hand, you hear a lot of people say that when you do that, it sort of just lets the left control everything. Where do you think the role of the church should be in politics?
They got to be involved. So when we look at the word politics, when you take that back to the Hebrew, it means business of the city. So as a pastor, I need to be involved in the business of the city.
Right.
And part of being a pastor is engaging my community and fighting against things that are anti-God, anti-biblical. We just in Arizona dealt with the abortion issue. And I was there at the Capitol every vote they had, meeting with state representatives, state senators, to influence biblically. And that's my job as a pastor, is to influence on biblical policy.
Now, a couple years ago, I think people probably believed that conservatives were more of a religious demographic as opposed to the left. But I don't think it's even a question now that the left is actively anti-Christian, the way they behave. Why do you think that is?
So we're in a spiritual warfare. What we're seeing right now is good versus evil. It really is. And I tell people this: all you have to do is go to the book of Revelation, and you're reading the news.
Yeah, you are.
It's what's happening.
Sure.
So we're in a battle for the soul. And if you notice, the far left is, the soul of America, and that's what we're fighting for. This is a spiritual warfare that we are in. And one of the greatest movies that's out right now, I encourage everyone to watch, and it will open up your eyes to what's happening, is Eric Metaxas's movie, Letter to the American Church. Get the book, and it will open up your eyes of what's happening and really calls Christians to go, okay, we need to do something. We got to get involved. And so I encourage every pastor, get involved, take a stand. If you're going to make a difference, you have to engage on biblical policy, religious freedom. Those are things the far left are coming for. If we don't win in 24, they're coming for our Bibles, they're coming for our churches, and they're going to continue to indoctrinate our kids.
I agree, and I think a lot of people, if there's one silver lining from this period of time, it's that a lot of people are sort of coming to that conclusion. So we'll see what happens. But thank you very much for joining me, and good luck.
Hey,
thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.